Hey everybody, welcome back. I'm your host 270 and this is Create to Mechanism. Oh, and thanks for joining me on yet another episode. This one's going to be quite fun. I'm actually pretty excited. And every other episode before this, we've done a single chapter. We've gone through the chapters of this quest book. So each episode was a different chapter. This one, I've been trying to get caught up and or get ahead and make advancements and efficiencies so that we can set ourselves up for success going forward. So because of that, this episode is going to be different in that we're not going to really complete any chapter quests. We're just going to be tidying things up, creating stuff that we should have done a while ago, and fixing things that have been broke for a while. So number one on my list are these things. These ultimate crafting tables. These have been quite the pain. I've had a problem with, I was just doing sort of like this, a pattern provider into a barrel with the barrel on top. And then each one of these on the autos, you could set one recipe, but then I can only have one recipe per crafter, one recipe basically per pattern provider, and it was just a huge waste. I was getting a little sick of that, and I was eventually going to just have like this whole room full of crafters, and I thought there's got to be a better way. So I reached out to the Discord, and this is what was suggested to me. This mod, PackagedAuto, has these packaging providers, and they're great because you can set a bunch of recipes. It's kind of like the ME patterns. You can set a bunch of recipes in a single holder, and then you put that in this packaging provider, and any connected package crafters, it will send that to. So like this one, I'm going to have set up for all of the advanced crafting, and I can have up to 5 connected to it because underneath we have the ME. So that's how it feeds the items from our network and the requests. And then on the other 5 sides of this, if I need them, I'm going to have these advanced package crafters. So I have the basic setup here. I'll have as many of these as I need. Right now I just have that. Just kind of been experimenting. This one I've already got quite a few set up because these things have been a pain in my butt, so I wanted to get them going. And also I want to get into quantum storage for my applied energistic system. So I've started making all the recipes for that. Now, in order to do this, let me grab a recipe holder. You need this package recipe encoder. It's pretty sweet, so we can clear out all these. Now you put this in here. If it already had recipes, I could load it. Once you set all your recipes in these different slots, you can save it. But first off, don't make the mistake I did. I had to redo all of them. You need to make sure you set this to whatever you're going to do. So let's say we want, well, let's just go ahead and do a few of these. Okay, so this is an advanced crafting. So we need to make sure that this is set to advanced right here. And then all we do is we just plus it into here. And now it's this slot right here will always be for this recipe. So then we just go to the next one. And we do our next item, and we just go down the row. It's so nice. Now, obviously, I don't need that. I was going to have a separate auto crafter and a separate pattern provider for each of these, and I knew there had to be a better way. So I'm glad I reached out to the Discord. I didn't know about this mod, and so far I'm already really liking it. Okay. Before I get ahead of myself. So now these are all set. I can save it to the recipe holder. Notice it changed colors. So now this guy, he can go in here. Actually, what I should have done is just use the same recipe. So let's go like this. We go here and we load. We can load those. And oh, I might have just enough slots actually. Boom. Let's just redo this. Make sure this is on advanced, like I said. We don't need that one. And just run through all these. Oh, just enough. Look at that. Okay, so we should be able to do all of this. And I'm just going to go ahead and save it to the recipe holder. We toss her back in there. And now, any of these recipes I can craft through the ME system. And they will get crafted to here, sent back to here, and then the end result will be sent to our system. So this is great and all, but this is gated behind netherite. In order to do this, if we look at the recipe, well, this package provider actually isn't, this one isn't. I can make this early on. This wasn't a big deal. We just needed to get a shulker. So instead of going to the end, what I did was just set up a summoning altar. So in order to get the shulkers, I just used the summoning altar, and I used this recipe. I did have this recorded, but then something messed up with my audio. I've been switching my OBS around. My audio was all messed up, so I didn't get it recorded. But basically, you just throw these items on the altar, and you make sure it's nighttime. That's the requirement here. And then it will summon it'll summon a shulker, and then I just use the DNA sampler, this thing right here. I just hit him with it. And I have this, my mob farm going down here, and I just threw him in here for like 3 seconds, let him produce a shulker shell. Oh my god, this is overflowing. I let him produce a shulker shell, and then once I put that into the ME system, I didn't need him in this farm anymore because it was redundant. And it looks like I don't need you in here either. Look at this. Holy crap. All right, so that's how I got the shulker for that recipe. Now, the other downside is these bad boys, these package crafters. If we take a look at its recipe, they require the epic crafting table, which requires a lot of compressed netherite. I think it's 48 or 47, something like that. It's a lot of compressed netherite. Each one of these is 9 blocks, and obviously each block is 9 ingots. So it's a lot. So basically what I did was I got this set up. I did have 4 wheels on here. I took 2 off, but all this is doing, all these sets of wheels, is they're pulling blackstone from EMC, crushing them, and sending them to the sender chest. Oh, it looks like it caught up. 4 is right at the edge. And then down here, I used to have just a single millstone with a sifter. Now I have an array of 9 sifters, and they're doing nothing but processing all of this crushed blackstone, and that's getting me quite a bit of netherite scrap. But even then, I had to AFK for a while. So if you notice in the left side, I no longer have a day counter. That's because there's absolutely no way we're going to finish this mod pack in 365 days. I knew it was a lofty goal to begin with. It was kind of fun to dream that I was going to do it. But I know there's more AFK sessions coming in the future because some of these chapters are going to require a lot of resources. So because of that, I'm just not going to worry about dates anymore, or the time anymore. So I took it off. We don't need to stress ourselves about how many days we're in. I think we're at day like 3 something now. Like the time has really advanced from last episode to this one because of all of just building this up here, which we'll get into in a sec, and then getting the netherite production up and getting these package crafters going. But one other thing that I did, was kind of cool, is this ender drawer is connected to an ender drawer I put in the nether, and I have well, let's just go look at it. I don't know why the nether's so laggy. It's something I did, but it's so bad. I hate coming to the nether because of how laggy it is. Anyway, I set up a nether ore laser base, this time in the nether, and I put a brown laser. The whole reason I set it up was to get ancient debris. I was trying to increase our netherite production. We are also getting a byproduct of iron and some redstone and some other stuff because I have the drill set to a depth of 10, which maxes 20, min is wide. So I set it right between these two, between 1 and 20, so halfway. But that also means that we're going to get other things like iron. I don't know why it doesn't show any other pages, but I am definitely getting more than just these 2 items. I know that. Anyways. Nether, waste, basalt. Oh, I didn't even look at this. We're in Basalt Delta. Oh, it's a good thing we're in the right biome. I didn't even look at the biome. But I am getting ancient debris. So if we go back home. So just for fun and to set up something kind of cool, I have the ancient debris going into my ME system. So this import is just pulling it in. Actually, technically it's stored in the create vault. I don't have ME storage yet. And then I just pull it out. I put it into here. And this smelts it into ingots, or into scrap. This technically is an ingot cast, but it turns it into this. This is no more you're not duplicating it. It's just another way of producing it. I just thought it would be kind of fun because I like Tinker's construct, that's all. So, and then I have this set up to make, just continuously try to make ingots until it gets to 4,000, because that was like, I don't even remember, that's like 50 compressed stones or compressed blocks or something. I can't remember. I did the math. 4,000 was enough for me to get to my goal, so that's just what I set it at. I can lower this now, but it's fine. It just basically what it's doing is anytime there's 4 scraps, it will turn it into an ingot, a netherite ingot. That way I'm not building up these, and it's just automatically converting them to ingots. Once we get into Mekanism, whoops. Geez Louise. Once we get further into Mekanism, I can do this method. Right here. I can crush the netherite into dust, and then I can use basalt, combine them, and get debris. And so basically this is a way of duplicating netherite, and we can really ramp up our netherite production. So after I complete chapter 10, I should get that going so we can really get our netherite production up, because I'm pretty sure we're going to need more of it later. I haven't quite looked yet, but I'm pretty sure we do. Okay, so there's that. Now, of course, the big elephant in the room, this up here. Well, and also I set up the staff of traveling, and I have a few waypoints, like this corner, the auto crafting corner. I have the center of my new factory floor, steam engines down here, the tree of life. My favorite spot, I set up the top of the tree of life so I can kind of look down over everything, which is fun. It's just a quick way. And then I did have one out there. The story of that, just real quick, I was trying to spawn in a warden because I wanted to put him in a mob cage. The problem is he just immediately disappears. He burrows himself as soon as he spawns. So I set up a stasis chamber, and I can capture him in the stasis chamber and it prevents him from burrowing away, but I can't hit him with the DNA sampler. So I don't know how to fix that. I did imprison him in this mob imprisonment tool. So I have a warden. I just don't know how to get the DNA from him, because as soon as I put him into the world, he just digs his way into the ground and I can't do anything about it. So I'm wondering if it's because it's this biome. Maybe I should take him to the biome that he's from. But that's what that's for, is because if I couldn't kill him, I didn't want him wreaking havoc on my main base, so I set up a little area out there. And I did have one of these staff or the traveling waypoints, but I must have removed it because now I can't go out there. Oh well, doesn't matter. Okay, so now to this. This is going to be our new factory floor. Now that we're getting into Mekanism and I want to set up different machines and stuff. So the plan is each one of these, so I have them stored, the white version, I have stored in this copy paste gadget, and then I'm just going to paste them. And this is a single floor. So I'm just going to keep stacking up floors up and up and up as we go. And I thought maybe it would be cool to have like the 2 white ones kitty corner and then dark grays here. So I think I'll still do the white one, and then I'll just use exchanging gadget to put them in. But let's go ahead and do one. I'm just going to kind of roughly show you how to use this copy paste gadget in case you've never done it before. So right now, as you can see by the Z fighting there, this one is the last one I placed in. Now, by default, G is your key to bring this up. Obviously, you can set the hotkey to whatever you want. Originally, when I was basically what I did was I put this into copy mode. Actually, let's just go ahead and do it. We'll put it into copy mode. Now, what you do is you want to get the whole thing from one corner to the next. So you right click where you want to start. So I'm going to start that corner and go all the way to this corner, and then I'm going to shift right click on this corner. Boom. Now notice the green outline. That means this whole building right here, to include the roof, this is all part of the copy paste gadget. So then I go to G again, I make sure I put it into paste mode, and then it's anchored right now. You can unanchor it, kind of get it sort of lined up where you want it. And then don't right click until so as soon as you right click, that's when it brings it into the world. But before you right click, hit G, you can anchor it, and then you can make fine tune adjustments by going to this. It cleared it right there. But if I go let's go over that again. Anchor, when it's green like that, it means you've got the anchor set. So if I move around, it's not going to move around. It's anchored to that position. Now I can make adjustments by bringing up this tool and then just moving the outline of it where I want it. I think that right there is where I want it. Let's just go down and have a look. And so as long as I'm holding the tool, it'll still show the silhouette, so I can place it exactly where I need it. And this looks good. I think we're at the right level and everything. Okay, so and as long you can actually connect these to your ME system, which is what I probably should have done. But I haven't done that yet. So I just made sure I have all the materials in my inventory. And then once I right click, it'll just bring them to life. It's that easy. So what you can do with oh, did I run out already? Crap, I did. No worries. So this is actually a good example. If you don't have everything set, it'll just paste in what it can. Notice we're still missing quite a bit. That's okay. I'm gonna go get the rest of the materials and then come back. Okay, I'm back. Hopefully this is enough. So I made a bunch more of the tiles for the roof and then a bunch more, well, 3 more stacks of concrete. So now what I can do is I can bring my tool back up. Notice it's still got the outline where I want it, and I can just right click again and it'll finish filling in whatever. So it's not a big deal. Oh, I forgot the stairs, dang it. Get those. Okay, and there we go. Now the reason I have 2 is because that's for the building. This one is for the floor, which I also use for the ceiling. But to add on to the floors, what I do is very similar, except it's a lot harder to place, is I just kind of get it in line. I anchor it. Make sure we're in paste. And then I change the settings. Oh, I went the wrong way. And there we go. And it won't replace any blocks that are already there, which is good. All right, so you get an idea. That's how I've been building these. Since I didn't want to have multiple colors, this might actually be a little more work than it's worth. But what I planned on doing, let's just go ahead and try this. If you shift right click on something with the exchange gadget, that will set it as the block it'll use. And now, right now, if I just do 1, it'll replace just that 1. But if I hold G, just like before, and I do a surface, and then I make this as big as possible. Actually, I don't think yeah, that should work. So notice it's going to replace all of these, but it won't replace the glass, which is nice. And I'm going to have to do the stairs by hand, but that's okay. It might be quicker if I have 2 different variants, a gray one and a white one, but this is, I don't know, it just seemed need more gray concrete. It just seemed like a good excuse to use the copy paste gadget, or sorry, the exchange gadget also. There you go. Oh, and one thing I didn't mention and I could have done is you can rotate them before you paste them in. So I could have rotated it so the doors were right here and right here, just like I did with this one. So I kind of screwed that up, but that's okay. Oh, I'm a dummy. Hold on. I had the wrong glass. Oh, it might paste over it. Okay, I'm gonna have to do these manually. The way I do these is I do 1 row and then I just use this. That's the easiest way, I think. These luminous glass panes, they're really cool because you can't even tell they're there, but they're, as the name says, they're luminous. So at nighttime, they provide these buildings with tons of light. So I don't even really need lights on the inside. I'll use some for decoration soon, but I don't really need them. They're pretty sweet. I really like them in the pane version, at least with these concrete buildings, because you can't even see the borders. Not that the gold border is that bad looking, but it looks just way better without it even being there. Okay, so these should all have windows. You can't even tell. You have to like go right up to them to see. I just need to make some more slabs to fix these floors and we'll be good. Yeah, we're good. Now, one thing I kind of wanted to do to give this a little bit of depth is I sort of want to move, let's just try it right here. Sort of want to move these all down since they're half slabs. Yeah. Sort of like that. Okay, along the same lines, what I did here was on this tool, I have the build to me, and then I just have grass selected, and I come all the way to the end. Oh, come all the way to the end here. And I just do that, and it builds. Whoops, a little too far there. That should be good. Oh, one off. Okay. There we go. I like that. That gives a little depth. So it's a step up to these buildings. It's sort of like that. Okay, this is our factory. Now, I've been spamming these ferro lamps. I don't need them all over. In case you don't know, the way these ferro lamps work is it doesn't say anywhere on them. They automatically spread out, kind of. So basically what they do is they'll, in a circumference around them, they'll place invisible torches. It's kind of fun to watch, and if you're in a very dark space, you just set one down, you'll see little light sources like all of a sudden start popping up. Okay, we need another building right here. This time, I'm going to do it right. That's it. I think that's where we want it. Yeah, buddy. And go. Okay, what do we think? So this is the beginnings of our new factory. This is just one level. I still need a tiny bit of tidying up. I have one too many over there, and then I need to continue the walkway. I want to do this brick walkway all the way around. So there's just a little bit more tidying up to do, but otherwise, this is basically how it's going to go. So I think I am going to do another copy paste device. So I'll have one for white and one for dark gray, and then I'll just copy the layers up as we go. We could alternate layers, make it like Oreo, but I think I'll stick to the same color. So these will all be white floors. These will all be gray floors. And that's it. Now, on to some more optimizations. Now that we have that going on and we can craft stuff easier, we need to start automating this. If we look at extended crafters, auto ender. Oh, I have it set. Do I have everything actually? Oh no, I can make one of those. I need these ender. You can get switch. Can't remember. Anyway, okay, focus. If we look at this is huge. I need a ton of the double compressed crafting tables. Actually, not a ton. I might already have enough. Yeah, I have quite a few. I've been slowly working on that. But what I've been doing is just every once in a while I come over here and I throw these in. And it's a very manual process. I don't know once we get past all this how many more of these we're going to need. But I would like to automate it because it's getting kind of old doing this. So now that I have these going, I need another one for, so this is advanced, right? I'm going to bookmark these. So I need another one for elite and I need another one for ultimate. It looks like there isn't one for the epic. So in order to create this, I'm still going to need an actual epic crafting table, but a one-off should be fine because I really only need one of these. So I might actually work on that and I'll get back to you. But for the time being, that's just kind of the plan. This I'm going to grow. This is, I think it could be 5x5. I need to double check that. It might be 7x7. But I can fill it with alternators, and the more alternators you have, the quicker this goes. For frame of reference, in case you haven't got to the point where you can make an epic crafting table, in order to do some of these, like this one right here, This pattern requires a lot of materials, and you don't want to be gathering that into your inventory and then trying to carry it over. I mean, you're going to be putting it in your inventory, but going in here and then trying to find all the things and put them in. Here's what I found is the easiest way. Until you can auto craft stuff, make a pattern for it. So, whoops, I don't know why I clicked that. So if we come to here, and if I go to my terminal, the crafting, the pattern encoding terminal, and go here. Now notice, fill recipe. Obviously this won't work on a 3x3 grid, and it knows, it's smart enough to know that this is going to be a processing pattern. It's going to be done somewhere else. So all ME cares about is it's going to send off these ingredients and expects this back. So as far as this recipe goes, that's all that matters. So what I've done is I've generated this pattern. I put it in here. So now when I request one, it will put all the ingredients in here. So let's go ahead and do that if we can. Let's request one. We want the auto craft in Ender Crafter. Okay, it says we have everything. So let's go ahead and start it. What? What? I've never seen that error. Now let's see. So with that, I think it was having a problem pulling from the compacting drawer, but now I have a recipe. So let's try it again. This should work how we expect now. Oh. Except I am so confused. We need 1,800 more. Boy, that needs a lot. Maybe that was the problem. I think it was confused by the compacting drawer. So once this builds up 2,000 more, we should be set. After no short time later, we finally have enough of the ender nuggets, the chicky ender nuggets. We have enough of these so that we can make enough of these. And we should be able to make this. Oh, that's exciting. Oh, this is great. This is so great. As soon as I get this one going, I think I'm going to make another one. Well, I'm going to have to let these build up again. They take a while. But I'm going to make another one. One to do compressed crafting tables, and then the other one to do double compressed. We'll just have both of those automated. I haven't found another use for these yet, besides those two. We are going to need, here like real soon, we're going to need these guys again. I've used them a little bit in the past, but I want to automate them as well. And just like with the other ones, we're going to need a lot of double compressed. So actually, while we're here waiting, I'm going to make that recipe. Just like before, I just make an extended pattern recipe, or a processing pattern, I mean. That way, it will gather the ingredients for me and shove them into here when it's ready. That way I don't have to find them all. Also, the other thing I like about it is I can hover over it and it'll tell me the counts. If I go to the item here, you know, I can count these, but I'm lazy. I don't want to. So by making the recipe, I can just see right here, I need 48 double compressed and 72 redstone ingot blocks. I do not have these automated yet. I might have to do that before we get going with this bad boy. Okay, so it made everything we needed and it threw it in here. Now we grab them, we come to here, and then we find the recipe again. And if it's got everything, it'll have this fill recipe button. We go ahead and push that. It'll fill the whole thing for us. Look at that, we don't have to do anything. It's so nice. We grab it, and then just so that we don't have to manually cancel that craft, I just go ahead and throw it in the return inventory. And then there we go. It's been completed for us. So now let's go throw this in place and see how she looks. And I don't know if I've explained this. I'm going to go ahead and explain this real quick. Just a little bit of a sidetrack. If you notice, there's a wireless connector right here. This is connected down into our AE basement. What I did here is I'm doing some P2P. So this whole inside ring, every one of these is a P2P tunnel. Because you can only have 8 items on a channel. Now this isn't going to be an AE tutorial. This is just kind of an overview. If you know AE, this will all make sense. If you don't, let me know. I'll do a tutorial. There's tons of them out there. If you want one from me, I can definitely do it. And I think I will in the future. But for now, basically what we have is just know that in AE2, each cable, small cable, can have 8 channels, and each dense cable can have 32 channels. And the face of every one of these controllers can have 32 channels coming out of it. So basically what I'm doing is I have a P2P tunnel on the face of every one of these. So that's 32 channels. I'm routing, the way a P2P tunnel works is just think of it as like it's a tunnel, essentially. It's just a tunnel going through another network. So these 32 channels are being packaged into one, basically just one channel, and they're coming through here to this controller. And then from this controller, I can connect different wireless connectors and send them out into the world. So right now, this is going to one building. The way I've done this is I'm going to have one wireless connector going to each of those buildings upstairs, the factories. And because there's 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, yeah, there's 5 P2P connectors going into each wireless. That's 32 channels per times 5. So I can have, so that's 160 channels coming from the face of each of these. Each of these controllers, the face, like I said, is 32. So I'm tunneling 32 channels into one channel to go through here. So they're basically, this should say 5. We're using 5 channels. Each one of those channels has 32 channels inside of it, thanks to tunneling. That's how this P2P tunneling works. So all you have to do is you use a wireless card. Sorry, all you do is you use this memory card. You connect it on this end to whatever network. So this one, it's CE06. And if we look at here, this is CE06. Look at the top. So that means this wireless or this memory card is set to program that. So now that that one it's connected to that, I go upstairs. And then off of this guy. Remember, I have 5 separate channels carrying 32 channels each coming out of it. So I can do up to 5 P2P tunnels coming out of this one wireless connector. So basically what that's doing is it's giving me 160 channels per building. I don't know if that's going to be enough. It might not. I can increase it later if I need to. But that way I can just have one wireless connector coming from the basement to feed this whole building instead of having to have wires running all the way down to the basement of my main AE2 network. So this memory card, I connected it down there and then I connect it to this one. And now all those channels will route through this. It'll tunnel through this back down into the basement and then terminate on one of those faces, the one that this memory card is connected to. So that's how that works. Basically, just know that I'm tunneling 160 channels from there through one wireless controller per building. So there's that explained. And now to route these around, what I'm doing is, since the dense cables can carry 32 channels each, I'm using them to go each direction. And because I have up to 5 P2P tunnels, I think what I'm going to do is in each direction. So that's south, right? I have one P2P tunnel going south. I'm going to have one going west, one going north, and one going east. And that leaves me a 5th one that I can, route anywhere I need that I'm low on channels. When we get into Mekanism, those can be pretty channel heavy because you can have a lot of machines all needing channels, especially depending on how you automate them. So I could see maybe needing 2 32 channel dense cables just for one assembly line. But I don't know, we'll see. When I did my All the Mods 10, I actually had 2 dense cables. So I had over 64 channels just for my Mekanism stuff. And that was just the main Mekanism. That wasn't including the reactors. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to get me another P2P. I'm going to connect it coming off of here. And then I need to go back down to the basement. And we'll just select the next one. So right here. Oops. There we go. Hope I didn't just mess that up. Okay, so shift right click will set the memory card to this tunnel. And notice on this one, this says, because it's linked, this says input side. This one's not linked yet. It says unlinked. So now we go back upstairs. And if I just right click here, now this says output side and it's got the same 4-digit code and it's color coded too. Makes it pretty nice. Now I grab my dense cable and come out this way. So the dense cable you can connect straight out of the network, because remember that P2P could carry 32 channels, and so can the dense cable. But a regular device like this Ender Crafter, it can't connect to a dense cable. You need to run the regular cable in order to connect devices. Just FYI. The way I run these is I run them underground, and then I get my regular cable and I pop it up right here, and then, well, depending on what the device is, like this crafter, I've never used it, so I'm not sure. That probably won't work because I think there needs to be a barrel or something on top. So similar to the auto crafters, what we're going to do with this is we're going to set it right out front here, and I'll put it right there. And now we'll run the cable up. We'll get us a pattern. These are kind of dumb. You need a barrel on top. They won't accept the straight ME system. So just like I did with the auto crafters, I have this pattern, and then we need a gate, give it some power. And just like with the other ones, I need to set a pattern in here. So let me grab. Okay, so it does use these alternators. I think I'm gonna move it and stick it in the middle here. Yeah, let's do that. Yeah, okay. So that's how we're doing this. We're just gonna constantly keep this barrel full. All right, now we've been tackling, just like I said, this episode's a little fun. It's just gonna be a lot of randomness, a lot of things to automate. Now in the next object, I know that we are gonna need more of these redstone ingots. So I think what I'm gonna do is just pull them from here. All right, and just like that, we have the red alloy ingots automated. The copper just comes from here. We already have the liquid redstone coming from this line, which I should have plenty of it built up. Yeah, there's 128 buckets in there. Plus this keeps a bucket, so there's plenty. And then this will just keep sending copper along until this is full. I wonder, we could probably speed this up a hair. There we go. I should keep this guy just constantly blinking. Yeah, it's perfect. It'll slowly build up. All right, so after quite a bit of work and just AFK, not really AFKing, but just doing lots of other tasks and letting materials build up, this is what I have built. And notice I upgraded my armor finally. My netherite armor was starting to get low, and most of it, I haven't really fought any mobs. Most of it was low from being near the TNT when it explodes, which is kind of funny. That's how much I'm near the TNT messing with those stupid paintballs. Anyway, so what I have in here is there are 4 auto crafters in here, each one with a separate recipe. Now I know there is this Ender package crafter, and I can make this, and it would be very similar to these guys over here. I could toss one on top of this packaging provider and then just use a recipe holder to do the 4 different recipes. But the thing is these still require alternators, and so I'd have to have that in the middle of here. And since technically there's only 4 recipes, if we go look at this, there's really only 4 recipes that this is used for. So I just decided to create 4 different auto ender crafters, and they're all in the middle here. Each one has its own gate, so it's powered. And then it's just surrounded by all these alternators. Now you can do 7x7. I'm only doing 5. Let's see, 1, 2. I'm only doing a 5x7. So there's actually room for more, but this is so fast. If I request, it's been auto crafting for quite a while, but if let's say I just request, yeah, here we go. See how it's pretty fast. I mean, I'm sure it could be faster if I did the full 7x7, but it's fine. I have these set on passive. So I have up here, I decided to just put the ME requesters here. I have 1,024 of each of these going, and it's just constantly working to get those filled. And then the other two that are over here in the Ender Crafters are the Ender Stars and the enhanced Ender Ingots. So I also have those just auto or passively generating, and as you can see, they're full. Now over here on the auto flux, these are similar in that they require these alternators. The difference is each alternator also requires power. So on the bottom of every one of these is a gate, as well as on these ones there's a gate. And for these, there's really only 3 recipes that we needed. The calculator, and then these two, the ingot and the star. So I decided to just create, or I crafted 3 of these autos, and then I just have a pattern provider, one for each one. And then in here, same as the other side, I have the requester set up so that it just keeps my drawers stocked. That's about it. These, I didn't need to do nearly as many alternators. I think because they're powered, these are really fast. If I just request a few of these ingots, you'll see once it fills up, it actually takes, it seems to take longer to fill up than it does to just make them. Maybe not, but. So this could be faster with more alternators, but I'm really not that worried about it. I know I keep saying I'm not that worried about it, and then I come back and I add more stuff to it, but since I have this drawer set to just passively be generating, we'll see. I might need to increase these levels and up these levels, but I'll do that if I need to. So that's it for this room. Now I did notice I wanted to start getting into, I had mentioned it before, quantum. I want to build the quantum, why can't I think of the name? The multi-block for the computer core, and then the assembler matrix, so that I can speed up all my crafts using the AE system. And when I was starting to do this, I had noticed, like, let me show you, if I just do this, notice how many stars, nether stars this takes. Like just 10 of these takes 298, and I need like 100 something of these. So it requires quite a bit. So I decided to get into hostile neural networks after all. So here's what we got going on. This building over here, at least this wall, will be my hostile neural networks. So I have another P2P under the ground that's feeding 32 channels over here. And I have, right now I have 10 simulation chambers. Only the first 4 have a wither in them. And then those are being fed up here to these loop fabricators. And then those create the nether stars from the predictions. If you've never messed with hostile neural networks, it's a pretty sweet mod. It's actually pretty straightforward. Once you get the basics down, the rest of it's pretty simple. I'm going to run you through, as you can see, I have some of the data models in my inventory. So I'm going to run through how that's done just to give you a heads up in case you've never done it. And also I just noticed my floor's all jacked up. I need to fix that. Let's head over to where I've been killing the wither, meet back up, and I will show you how that works. Oh, and you may notice when I start flight and end flight, I'm not using the jetpack anymore. I decided to craft the Swiftwolf Rendingale Angel Ring, which gives you creative flight. It's just a little more nimble and easy to fly than the jetpack. The downside is, I'm not sure if it's something I'm doing wrong or a bug in the pack. In other packs I've played, if you put a Klein star in your inventory, it will use the EMC from that to keep this ring charged. But for some reason that's not working. I had to use Mobius fuel, and I just keep that in my inventory. So when this stored EMC runs out, it'll use up another Mobius fuel. Okay, here we are back over at our trusty witherproof box. I temporarily removed the stasis chamber, or the stasis block, so we're not mining ether gas, but that's okay. This is very temporary. So what you want to do first off is just create, you want to attack a bunch of withers all at once. What I like to do is just do them in rows like this. Let me make sure I have some glass ready. All right. So the way this mod works, hostile neural networks, is you make these model frameworks, and then you right click. Oh, I forgot about the start explosion. Holy Toledo's. You right click them on a mob, and then as soon as you do that, notice now I have this wither data model. Gee, that's so loud. Let me back up. I have this wither data model. And I think I only need 3 more to fill in what the rest of my household neural networks upstairs. But the way these work is inside of this deep learner, you can do 4 at a time. Oh, I already have 4 loaded. That's right. I forgot about that. So you can do 4 at a time. And you have to kill a certain amount of withers or whatever the mob is before these go from being faulty. Notice that tier. When they're faulty, they won't work in the simulation chamber. So for the wither, we have to kill at least 6. Notice it says data collected 0 of 6. So each time we kill one, we get 1 data point. And then 6 of them will give us a basic tier. And then we can throw those in our simulation chamber and eventually we'll start getting predictions. So once you have this deep learner loaded, as long as it's in your inventory, you'll get credit. I like to throw it over here in the bubble slot so that it, in the top left, you can see on my screen, this shows our status. So, and then we just go through and kill these guys, and I'll spare you that. There's 1 down. Notice it dropped down to 5 remaining. All right, and that's all 6. So, all 4, sorry. Since we need 6 total, I'm gonna have to do that again. That's all 6. Now, if you look, it says 24 remaining. That's to go to the next tier. You could keep killing the mobs and get to the next tier maybe a bit faster than they get when you put them in the simulation chamber. But I don't really feel like killing 24 more withers. That's just a lot of work. So we pull them out of the deep learner. These 3 are empty, so we need to toss in them. And then it's pretty basic. I just have a import-export bus on here that exports prediction matrices to the simulation chamber. Once it successfully gets a prediction, it will put it into our system, which right now I've only got the withers, so I have this drawer slotted just for the wither. And then I've got export buses on the back of these, which just tells it to export any of those these predictions into here. Oh, here we go, right there. Notice there's 4. I should have clicked on it, but so you saw there was 3 different predictions, and then it just gave me 64 stars for 1 prediction. So it's pretty efficient. And now I have 7 of them running. In the basic tier, they're pretty slow. Once they get up to expert, or I forget all the tiers, but once they get up higher tiers, almost every one of these percentages will result in a prediction. At the basic tier, it's very inaccurate. Notice it's at 5%. So we rarely get a prediction. But every time it runs through this, it gets a little bit more advanced and it'll go up through the tiers. All right, it's come to that point of the episode where we got to find a good place in our tree to hang another lantern. Thank you to whoever you are. I greatly appreciate you subscribing. This looks like a good spot. Whoever you are, I hope you like pink because that's what you're getting. Thank you once again for joining me. I greatly appreciate it. We did not accomplish anything chapter-wise, but we did get quite a bit going, quite a bit optimized, and we have a huge head start for next chapter. I'm really excited. This new factory floor building turned out so good. I love these buildings, and I went ahead. I had mentioned I wanted to do a walkway all the way around, so I did that. I think I might use a little bone meal on the grass so there's a few flowers here and there around the buildings, but other than that, oh, and a few decorations on the outside of the buildings because they're looking pretty bland. But other than that, it's looking good. You've already seen the inside of the buildings there. So far, they're pretty barren. It's just mostly the crafter stuff. We'll peek in the window here. The ender crafter stuff. That's mostly what's been going on. That's been taking most of my time. But the stuff that I showed you that we've passively been getting set up, we're going to need that stuff next chapter. So all of this right here, we are now passively generating already. So I did kind of look ahead and get that set up since I already knew I wanted to get these ender crafters going and passively generating stuff. Ooh, nice sunset or sunrise. Anyways, I decided to just go ahead and do the flux ones as well, and that's going to definitely benefit us next chapter. But so thanks again for joining me on this wonderful adventure. I appreciate it. The next few chapters are going to be really fun. We're going to be progressing into Mekanism, and things are going to be getting optimized like crazy. And it'll go fast, but I promise to explain it well. I want to get through those chapters. A lot of it's just going to probably be AFK and getting things passively generating. We're going to need lots of materials and lots of systems going all at the same time. But we have a very good head start. So thanks again. I appreciate it, and I will see you in the next episode. Love you, bye.